What's up, guys? Welcome to Joint Jack. Today we are working on the knee. For athletes who have to be able to, I almost said need, who have to be able to move that knee forward, or we think driving the knee out in front of the toe, okay, we require a little bit of ankle dorsiflexion, and I think the ankle kind of takes the cake here. Everybody kind of focuses most of the attention on ankle's ability to dorsiflex. But as my ankle does that, if I have the capability to bring my ankle into dorsiflexion, but my knee isn't able to move into full flexion or further flexion, we're not going to be able to have control over that ankle dorsiflexion anyway. Okay, so we're thinking here athletes like sprinters, athletes like hockey players, hurdlers, squatters, powerlifters, Olympic lifters, CrossFit athletes, anybody who has to be in a position where the knee needs to be able to move in front of the foot has to be able to work on their knee stuff. And this also includes just general humans as well, okay? Everybody should be able to sit like this with no pain, okay? Also, barring any injuries, pre-existing injuries, any inflammation that's currently in the knee, obviously those things are going to affect the knee's ability to function as an actual knee. But this is the position that we should be able to kind of work our way back towards. We always think of movement patterns in terms of rotation first, linear second, anything aside from the spine. We have to think about that with the knee as well. So the knee needs to be able to rotate along the axis of the femur coming down, the patella tendon on top of the tibia. Okay, so we have tibia bone here and fibula, and femur bone here. Okay, your shin should be able to rotate inside of the knee. Something called the meniscus that allows for a little bit of pliability of that rotation. Okay, it gives it a little bit of a cushion. If we can't rotate from here, one, either the meniscus gets a lot of shearing pressure and pain, or we start to get rotation from ankle or hip in place of knee, okay? And if something else is moving, so let's say every time I wanted to move my shoulder, my elbow bent, okay? So whenever I'm lifting my shoulder, if I have to do this every single time I want to move my elbow and every single time I want to move my shoulder, eventually my elbow is going to get overcompensation. So here, if I'm asking for rotation and all I'm getting is my ankle moving around, this is going to be overworked. Overworked tissue eventually expires faster, okay? So we have to ensure that we get as much load distribution through every single joint as opposed to overloading one or two joints above and below. All right, so we're going to focus our attention on our tibial cars. My left arm is going to come underneath my left leg. I'm going to grab onto my right bicep, reach over and grab onto my thigh. So really I'm just kind of headlocking my thigh here, so then I don't move at the thigh instead of moving at my shin. For your tibial cars, I want you to try to turn your shin out. So you're thinking someone's grabbing the shin and rotating it out. As I extend or straighten my leg, I'm going to try to turn it further into what's called external rotation, or if I look at my leg like a clock, I'm turning it counterclockwise. Leg straightens as much as I can. Hamstring is going to come into play here, so mine is stopping me right here. I'm going to try to internally rotate the shin or roll it clockwise. As I pull it down, I'm trying to get more clockwise rotation. Counterclockwise, up, clockwise, down. Counterclockwise, up, clockwise, down. Keep it clockwise. I'm going to go up, turn it counterclockwise all the way over there. Bend it, go back to about 3 o'clock, extend, so straighten the leg, trying to pull more into clockwise, turn it counterclockwise, bend. Clockwise turn, straighten, counterclockwise, bend. Let's switch sides. So reaching my right hand around my right thigh, grabbing onto my bicep, reaching over and grabbing onto my thigh. I'm going to externally rotate or rotate clockwise. Extend, counterclockwise, bend. Clockwise, extend, counterclockwise, bend. One more, clockwise, extend, counterclockwise, bend. Extend, holding it in counterclockwise, and rotate clockwise. Man, this is hard. I keep messing up my words. Turn it counterclockwise, extend, clockwise, bend. Counterclockwise, extend, clockwise, bend, relax. So what we can tell right away from that, if we don't have rotation, we are going to eventually have issues in the knees. One of the other things that I see often for people who experience knee pain consistently, it can be on and off, it can be all the time. Most time, their kneecap doesn't move or it has a hard time moving. So if I just relax my leg, I should be able to take my kneecap, and I'm just kind of pulling some of my knee skin out of the way. Should be able to push it down, should be able to push it to the side, opposite side, and I should be able to pull it up. So there should be a little play in that kneecap. Okay, now we're not thinking of this like a cross. I'm thinking of this like a clock. Clock is going to be the word of the day today. Okay, so I'm going to pull some of the skin off of my knee, take my thumbs, and when I'm looking at my kneecap, I'm going to push that thing into 12 o'clock. Slowly, using my fingers, I'm taking my left finger, and I'm going to push that kneecap to 1 o'clock. Use my other finger to pull it to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Push it over to 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If you want, you can just grab onto it and push into those angles, or you can use your fingertips to manipulate how that thing spins. Just going to do a few circles clockwise, a few circles counterclockwise. Today's training is brought to you by the word clock and the letter C. Good. After we get that thing moving, if it does move, if it doesn't move and it's super sticky, you got to do this more. If that patella isn't smoothly sliding, you're going to run into issues where all of that tension is being built up and you have less force capabilities of load going into that leg. Okay, so we have to understand that the patella is there for a specific reason. If it's locked up and it doesn't move, it's not going to serve its purpose. Switching sides, relaxing my leg first, pulling that skin out of the way, and moving that kneecap. I'm going to start clockwise, and you'll run into these spots where you have more movement in some pockets, less movement in others, like mine moving up to about 2 o'clock is really tight. So I need to spend a little bit more time working in that specific angle. I'm going to reverse directions. And relax. Our first task here, we're going to work our knee's ability to flex. Our first task here, we're going to test our knee's ability to rotate. So very similar to what we did with the ankles, we're going to do this with the tibia. I want you to take your right foot, put it out in front of your body, and you're going to plant your heel. This is going to feel very similar to the ankle. That's kind of why I brought it up. Your right arm is going to stay on the outside of your leg, and then I'm going to rotate. Now, instead of focusing just on the foot here, I want us focusing up here. So as I rotate, I'm trying to physically see the rotation happen at my shin. Once I have that, you can move this heel wherever you want. Obviously, since my leg is bent a little bit, you might get some talking to yourself in your hip flexor. It's okay. It's something that we'll have to kind of work through. Okay. If it's too bad, we can always take my leg, I can plant it up against something else and work my tibia this direction and get less of that hip flexion action. Okay. Once I'm here, I'm going to start to rotate my foot, and I'm trying to ramp up the intensity that I feel up in my shin. So when I tell people the foot, a lot of times they feel this in the ankle. Let's just kind of start this first pales and rails contraction together, okay? So I'm going to push my foot into my hand and just kind of increase that intensity. Now I want you to think about your knee, okay? So we're going to try to pull the knee towards your body. Use your left hand to block that leg out and increase the intensity of the knee pushing into your left hand. That should bring us up to about 40%. Now let's think about rotation happening somewhere around here. So I'm trying to rotate that shin, coming up to about 60%. Pull your knee harder into your left hand, 70%, up to 80, up to 90. 100% go. Hold on to this. Continually rotating the foot, continually pushing that knee harder into your hand. Keep going. No movement, no positional change. Same intensity of your left hand pushing into the left thigh or in the left part of your right thigh. And then you're going to let go of that right foot with your hand. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Let go. Now try to rotate that shin more clockwise. You can use your foot, you can use your ankle. You're trying to squeeze all of this muscle on the front side of your shin. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, relax. Shake that thing out. You should feel a lot of burning up in the shin. We're going to go the opposite direction. External rotation of the shin almost always has more capability than internal rotation. So when I get my heel stuck, take my left hand, wrap it around, and I rotate. As soon as I stop seeing that shin rotate around, I'm just going to stop there. Same thought here for pails. I'm trying to turn my foot clockwise. For rails, I'm going to try to turn it further counterclockwise. And you can use your right hand here to manipulate where your thigh goes, all right? I like to kind of pull my thigh to the right. I'm going to take my right foot, and spin it clockwise into my hand at 20%. Now we're thinking to take that thigh and push it towards the right more, 40%. 60, trying to spin that foot even harder, counterclockwise, 80%. 100% go. Drive that foot in your hand. Good work. You can use your hand even harder to pull up against your foot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's try to spin that foot counterclockwise. Trying to rotate the shin even harder counterclockwise. Keep going. Feeling all this stuff on the inside of the shin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Take the foot, relax it. Take the shin, relax it. Switch sides. Same thing, opposite side. Left heel goes down. Left arm comes to the outside and wraps around. As I hold that position, I'm kind of putting my right hand against the inside of my knee. Taking my left foot, thinking to spin this thing clockwise for pails, counterclockwise for rails. Give me 20%, 40, 60, 80, 100. Really driving that foot out into the hand. Good work. Keep giving me more pressure. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let go. Try to spin the foot counterclockwise. Don't let the thigh open up. So really do your best with your hands to hold the thigh in place. Rotate harder at the shin. Squeeze the outside muscle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. If you need to shake it out, you can. Otherwise, I'm taking that right foot, this is my hand, my right hand, reaching across and spinning that thing in towards my body, pulling it clockwise. My pails, I'm trying to take my foot, go counterclockwise. Rails, I'm going to try to spin it clockwise. Okay, so taking your pinky toe, pulling it into your hand, give me 20%. 40, doing your best not to let the thigh move. 60. Pull back harder with the hand. Really rotate from the shin here, up here. 80%. 100% go. Try to keep rotating. Think that right below the knee is rotating, not just your ankle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Try to spin the foot clockwise, really trying to find access to the muscles on the inside of the shin. Good. Keep going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Shake that thing out. We are going to do some Nordic curls now. Or I guess reverse Nordic curls. You're going to be up on your knees. I would say if your knees are sensitive to being on the floor, grab a pillow and stick it underneath those knees. But essentially what we're doing is going from a mid-range of motion of knee flexion all the way back as far as we can go into active knee flexion. Okay, so active end range knee flexion. So from here, it's not my hips going back. We're going to try to utilize my quads and my hamstrings to control myself backwards. So to do that, I need to squeeze my glutes, shift my hips forward, and I'm simply going to lean myself back and push my shins down to pick my body up. Shins are pushing down this entire time. Try to lean back shins down, and come back up. We should feel the stretch as I go back further into knee flexion on the front side, trying to control that stretch by pushing the shins down to the ground. So keep the hips forward. Slow and steady lean back. We're going to do 3 more for a total of 5 at your own pace. Try to go a little deeper every time. After your 5th one, you can grab onto the band that I had you guys get in the beginning. Left leg forward, right leg back. I'm going to loop around my foot, come up and over my shoulder. Now, once I'm in this position, I utilize the band because I want us to feel a little bit of pressure pushing out. Then I'm going to try to squeeze my heel to my butt and release the pressure I'm pulling into the band. Okay, so as I'm in this position, aim not to arch your back, trying to squeeze my abs. I can lean forward if I need to, pushing my foot out into that band. We're going to hold that pressure for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all in the front here, and 10. Squeeze your heel to your butt and let go of that band. Really trying to squeeze that heel to your butt. Feel all of that stuff cramping in the backside of the hamstring. Keep squeezing the heel to the butt. Yeah, 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. For those of you that have been following Joint Jack for a while, you know that I call these hammy crampers for the main reason that it does cramp the hamstring a little bit. Anytime your muscles are cramping, when you are physically trying to squeeze them or contract them, it's a neurological response saying, I've never done this before. You've never asked me to squeeze my muscle this hard in this specific position. So your nervous system actually cramps that tissue to try to get you out of that range of motion. Okay, so when I switch sides and I'm trying to squeeze onto that, if you feel a cramp, do your best to try to stick it out as long as you can. If you truly have to get out of the position, I totally understand. But you'll find the more you do this, the more active you can be in the hamstring without it cramping. Okay, we're bringing the right leg up. Swing the band around the left leg. Make sure you don't fall over. Bring the band up and around your shoulder. We're going to push into the band. So keep that back nice and straight. Squeeze your abs. Lean forward slightly and push that foot out into the band. Should be feeling this all in the front. Holding for 10 seconds. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Squeeze your heel to your butt and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Relax. That is all I have for you guys today. Good job. I'll see you tomorrow. If you're cramping, stretch that leg out. Maybe try a couple more reps and hopefully you won't cramp again. Good job, guys. See you later.